This is video number 38 for cello players, and in this video we're actually going to learn how to use our bow on the string. We're actually going to be making sound with the bow on the instrument. And if some of you may have already tried to do that, and possibly when you pulled it across the string it made very little sound or almost no sound at all. Don't think your bow is broken, you have to take it back to the store. That just means it's new and it doesn't have any rosin on it. Now rosin, you should have this in your case somewhere. Might look like this, might look like this. It could also be round. The more expensive rosin actually is round. And I have two things of rosin here because I want to show you, if you've got everything brand new, your rosin is also going to be brand new, and that can potentially cause a little bit of a problem if you've got new rosin and a new bow. So this is used rosin right here. Okay, it's kind of cloudy looking, all right? This is brand new rosin. Do you see how shiny that is? It's never been touched. The problem is your bow, if it's brand new, it doesn't make any sound. It has nothing on it. And it has no way to grip the rosin, and it's just going to keep sliding back and forth. What we want, you need to rosin your bow. You just go back and forth like this, okay? Just back and forth. Normally, I would say maybe 10 times every 5 or 6 days, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you're good. However, when your bow is new, you have to do it a whole lot. Now, with brand new rosin, it's even more so. You might have to do it like 50 to 100 times. Now, the reason for that is the bow is slick, it has no rosin on it, and this is slick too. So something you can do, I have mom or dad help you with this, is get like a key, like a car key or a house key, and just scratch it lightly. That'll give it a little bit of friction. I prefer not to do that. Normally what I do is I take all my students' bows and I use some old rosin just to get it going, and then their new rosin will work for them. But since I'm not there with you, that is probably your best option. You need to have some kind of friction on it. So just 1 or 2 little scratches with the key will give it a little something to get going, because again, what you want is for it to look cloudy like this. All right, once it's cloudy, that means the rosin's actually getting on your bow. Okay, so rosin your bow until it gets cloudy. If you've done it like 50 times and won't get cloudy, maybe get a key and scratch it and then try again. Okay, now when we play with our instrument, I'm going to ask you to do a couple things. I'm going to come in close here. I'm going to ask you a couple of things before we actually bow on the string. Let's pretend this is the side of the string. I'm going to ask you, you're going to put your bow in the middle of the stick. And I'm going to ask you with your arm, pull back and press down as hard as you can until like the hair hits the stick. Now this is not how we will play. I just want you to feel how that weight is, and then no weight at all. And then press down as hard as you can, and then no weight at all. And then halfway. Okay, that's the amount of weight that I want you to start with when you first start bowing. But we're going to practice the press all the way in, then not at all the way in, then not at all, and then we'll learn what the halfway mark feels like. Once we've learned that, I'm going to have you go down here to where your string is touching towards the frog, pressing halfway, and then pull. And I want to show you that close up because it's going to be difficult for me to show you with the cello being back here. Okay, so go ahead and get yourself in good playing position. Hopefully you've already tuned your cello. We learned that several videos ago. And bow on, put your bow just on the D string and put it down in the middle right now. Just in the middle right now. We're not going to bow from there, but for now, put it in the middle. Get a good bow hold. Make sure it's straight. It's perpendicular to the strings. Now pull your arm back towards your body. Press down as hard as you can. Now not at all. Now as hard as you can. And to where the hair hits the stick, now not at all. Now halfway. Now hold it there. Remember what that feels like. Remember how much weight that feels like with your arm. Now not at all. As far as you can. All the way to the hair hitting the stick, not at all. Now halfway. Memorize that. That's how much weight I want you to use. Now I want you to go back. The touch where the D string is going to be right there towards your first finger. You should be able to reach out and touch your string with your first finger. That's how far down you are. Okay? Press down halfway, and then you're going to pull. Now you can't just take forever. You're going to pull. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, then you're gonna pull, and you're gonna all the way to the tip. Make sure you pull straight, okay? And so down at the frog, pressing halfway. 1, 2, 3, 4, pull. Now freeze. You should be at the tip of the bow. Now, if you didn't get there in that amount of time, you need to pull faster. I need you to get all the way there. Okay, try that again. Start back down at the frog. You should be able to reach out and touch your string with your first finger. That's how close down you are. Pressing halfway. Make sure you're hitting just the D string. And 1, 2, 3, 4, pull. Freeze. Okay? Now, very likely you hit 2 strings. That is completely normal. It's not good, but it's completely normal for the first time. All right? Well, our goal, the hardest 2 things about playing with the bow is hitting a straight bow and hitting 2 strings, not hitting 2 strings, okay? So watch. This is a very common problem. Look how my arm is getting pulled up. Okay, make sure that didn't happen. Imagine your fingers are just like on the top of a table right here, and you're just raising your knuckles right across the top of the table. Very, very straight, all right? Try that again. 1, 2, pressing halfway, ready, and go. Freeze. Now let's try, I'm gonna turn the metronome on, and let's try 2 Ds. Go a little slower now. You're gonna go down bow, up bow. Down at the frog, pressing halfway, and 1, 2, ready, and go. Pull, push. Now try it again. Go, pull, push. All right, check your bow hold, make sure it's good. If you're hitting 2 strings, make sure that you move it, if you're hitting the A string, move your elbow down. If you're hitting the lower string, the G string, move your elbow up. Okay? Something else you want to check. Notice where I'm bowing. I'm bowing between the bridge and the fingerboard. For now, I want you to bow a little bit closer to the fingerboard than the bridge. Just a little bit. So find the middle, pull it back up like half an inch. Okay? Now try it 4 times. Pressing halfway. 1, 2, ready, 4 times, go. Stop, check your bow hold. Okay, fix. Make sure you're halfway between the bridge and the fingerboard. Pressing halfway, ready, and go. All right, now I want you to go to the A string. And guess what? The A string is going to be a little easier because there's only 1 string to worry about hitting. So to move the A string, move your elbow up. Okay? Now, in the A string, you're going to be a little bit lighter with the weight. Just a little bit, not much. 1, 2, 4 A's, and go. Okay, now, when you did the A string, it sounded like this. Listen, this is bad. Don't play with this. I know, it's horrible. That's way too much weight on the bow. Lighten up. Now, if you sounded like this, listen. That's not near enough weight. That's too airy sounding. Pressing halfway, lighten up slightly from halfway, and try 4 A's again. With me, and ready, and go. Okay, I should mention one other thing. If you are using the right amount of weight, but you're only using half of the bow, listen to that. If I'm using the right amount of weight, I'm going to use the same amount of weight I just did, but listen, I'm pull too slow. Okay? So just check yourself. Make sure you're using the full bow before you lighten up. Because we don't want you sounding wimpy, but we don't want you sounding gross either. So, full bows in A. Ready, and go. Pull, push. Okay? Now I want you to echo me, because I want you to try to sound like me. We're going to do 4 Ds again. So again, between the bridge and the fingerboard, all right? First finger is right over the D string, okay? Now 4 Ds, echo me. And go, D, 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 D. Try that again. D, D. Now we're gonna switch to the A, echo. A little bit lighter, and go, A, 4 A's again, echo me. Go, A. Good time to check your bow hold, make sure it still looks good. Now I want you to do 2 Ds and then 1 A. 2 Ds, and then we got to switch real quick. And then do 2 Ds and 2 As. I'm sorry, 2 Ds, 2 As. Echo me. D, D, A, A. Again. D, D. Now we're going to do the reverse. 2 A's, 2 D's. Go A, D, D. Again. Echo me. Go A, D, D. Now, what you need to do, the best thing for you to do right now is just to practice open Ds and open A's and switching back and forth. Figuring out the exact right amount of weight to use, making sure you're staying between the bridge and the fingerboard, just slightly closer to the fingerboard than you are to the bridge. Not much, just slightly closer. Get the right amount of weight, make sure you use your whole bow, make sure your bow goes straight. You open that elbow up and then you push it back in. Notice my wrist is moving. Don't overthink it, just keep the bow going straight and relax your arm and it will bend naturally where it needs to. Stay between, right amount of weight, full bow. Practice, practice, practice. Once you can get just the D string by itself and you're not hitting 2 strings, then try to get the A string by itself, not hitting 2 strings, and then go back and forth. Once you can do D, A, you're going to be in really good shape. But practice this a lot. There's no shortcut to this. There is no shortcut really to anything when it comes to learning to play the cello. You've got to just practice and do it over and over. Okay, don't expect a sound to not hit 2 strings the very first day. All right, and get a big full sound, but work on all of those things.